am in my favorite place, my kitchen, which I guess is not necessarily my favorite place because I am not a great baker, or guess a great chef, great cook. But it's my favorite place because the lighting is great. It's fun to chat with you here. I have like a little ledge you can go on. But also because I am on a new adventure. I think I may have mentioned this, but I have decided to really take my health in my own hands, as I have been doing for the past 2 years, but even more so with what I'm eating. I've always been like a clean eater, but I definitely know there's other things affecting me. So I've been dairy-free basically my whole life, like on and off my whole life. I was diagnosed with lactose intolerance at like a year old, and then I've been gluten-free for 12, almost 13 years, which is great. So it's definitely been easier the last couple of years versus like 12 years ago when I went gluten-free. But I am still having a lot of autoimmune reactions, which makes sense. Celiac disease, which is technically what I have, not just gluten intolerance. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease. I have endometriosis, adenomyosis, both autoimmune diseases. There's probably another one lingering around, but I am not giving that any mind. But I have felt way worse when I don't eat well, or even when I think I'm eating well, but it's things that cause inflammation. So I had a really big flare up, and it put me into a place that I was like, okay, it's time that I take this serious. So I am going on the AIP diet, which is the autoimmune protocol for those catching up. So let's make breakfast because I'm hungry and I have to go to my orthodontist. I'm making breakfast. It is literally coconut yogurt, which you know I love. I've been eating this for a while, so that's not a big change. Coconut yogurt, berries, fruits, and then I'm gonna put some collagen powder in my coconut yogurt just because it adds a little bit of protein. This is not enough of a breakfast for me. It's not like super filling, but I probably will have a banana right after, and then I'll plan on having an early lunch. I don't like to do what I eat in a day because I don't think that that's healthy for me or for anyone watching. But not drinking coffee. No, can't have coffee. It does, I knew this, it is an inflammatory food, very inflammatory. So we are having black tea right now, and I'll probably make matcha when I get back to my desk after the dentist. And there is breakfast. Pretty simple. Probably should put the collagen first, but look at that. Yum. Okay, back in the kitchen. It's lunchtime. As you saw, I was working. I got my elastic replaced on my braces, my Invisalign. Again, why there's an elastic? I might be the only one with Invisalign and an elastic. But I am ready for lunch, which I'm also grateful because I prepped my lunch from last night. So I had leftover ground beef that I fried up with onion, garlic salt, pepper, and turmeric. Very delicious. And I'm going to do some sweet potato in the air fryer. So I'm going to get that out, get things going. But I'm also going to show you the prep I'm doing for dinner. This recipe, it's not even a recipe. This meal that I'm making for dinner, I guess is not completely AIP friendly because the seasoning that I'm going to use has spices in it, which really sad that you can't have actual like flavor in AIP. You can't have any like peppers, chili flakes. This does have some peppers in it because I do love spicy food. So when I get to that, I will explain it and explain what you could substitute for that instead of using this pepper. I've also never reacted to pepper. I've never noticed that pepper has been a thing. But now that I've cut out like 95% of things that are inflammatory, I guess I would notice. So maybe that's a risk I'm willing to take, or something that actually would be helpful because then I could tell that it is a pepper. Fingers crossed it's not peppers because I do love the spice. So let's get lunch going because I'm actually starving. This is my little air fryer. She's a cutie. It's a Ninja. It's actually so good. It's perfect for one person meals. It's like, you can see it's pretty tiny, but it is great for doing some sweet potato. That is all the sweet potato that I'm gonna do. It's not a lot, but I'll put this on before I warm up the ground beef. So I will do about 5 minutes to start in the air fryer, and then I'll do a little bit of oil and salt and pepper on it. I'm gonna warm up the ground beef. I also think I'm gonna add in an avocado. I think that'll be yummy because I did find an avocado in the fridge. So I think avocado, some ground beef in an old takeout container, and sweet potato feels like a really balanced meal, hopefully. But like I said, I'm really hungry, so 5 minutes for that. I'm gonna warm up the beef, I think in a bowl. No, in a plate. I don't have many bowls. In a plate, and then I can add in the sweet potato and the avocado at the end. I will show you. And there is lunch. A little bit of everything. I mean, personally, I love all these foods, so I'm not mad about it. It just doesn't feel as exciting, but it is very yummy. I just thought I recorded all of my thoughts for you. I didn't hit record. As I was saying before I hit record, this diet isn't really hard to do. It is just more work. So now that I've gotten into a bit of a flow, I understand what's gonna happen in terms of what I'm gonna be eating, how I'm gonna be feeling. But I personally do love a lot of the foods. Like I love ground beef. I'm okay with chicken, but I am a protein girl. I've always been a protein girl. It's about minimizing things that I normally would eat that aren't actually great, like packaged goods. I shouldn't be eating those. I know enough about my body, what works and what doesn't. So it does feel better that I'm eating better. It just takes more work, more thought. I feel a bit more anxiety around going out to eat. I've only been out once since changing my diet, and it was fine. It just doesn't feel as comfortable, and like you're making adjustments, which I already feel uncomfortable doing as someone who's gluten-free, dairy-free. But it's also my health, and I shouldn't be uncomfortable making sure that I feel good and that I'm living my best life. I do feel bad for Michael though. Like making meals like this is fine for me, but I feel like this isn't exciting for him, but he has been really good. We've been working on how to kind of do 2 different meals in one. So maybe he'll do pasta and I'll just do the protein on the side with veg, different things like that. So it does just take more work, more conversation to create meals that are AIP friendly and good for you. But the goal is to just feel better, and that's what I'm here for. Okay, lunch is done. And now let's prep for dinner. Putting on my latex glove because we are seasoning up some chicken. Like I said, it's not completely AIP because I'm using jerk seasoning. I love jerk chicken. I'm just gonna be straightforward. I love jerk chicken. I don't get it a lot because I haven't found a good place out here in LA. Back where I lived in Canada, I had one around the block from me, so I was eating jerk a lot. So there's not like a lot of bad things in here, but it is scallions, hot peppers, which are the only things that shouldn't be eaten on the AIP diet. But like I said, I have never found that spices affect me. So you could totally do a seasoning, like I've done like a cumin, or another good one is a lemon salt, lemon pepper. A lemon pepper drizzle with honey. That also works really well. But I just got this bottle before I decided to go AIP. And your girl can't waste some jerk. So I'm gonna do some jerk on some wings. I don't like touching meat. I'm not gonna show you because it's just, okay, I'll show you a little bit. I don't know, it's just like, for some reason touching chicken is different than touching steak or just beef or pork. I just have an issue with touching chicken. So, and also it's like I'm gonna be like rubbing in the jerk sauce, so it's just better to have a glove. I'm gonna slow cook them this afternoon. So it's just after 2 and I'm going to put them in the oven for the remainder of the day. Let them get that like goodness into the meat. And then I'll probably do a side of like broccoli or something as my veg. I still think that that's a solid meal. I know a lot of people say like you need to have sweet potato basically with every meal because you need to have some sort of like carb or starch, but chicken and broccoli should be good for me. So we'll see. Another thing that I struggle with, I think I mentioned coffee. I struggle with coffee. Not having coffee is definitely hard, but I struggle with popcorn. So I haven't completely cut out popcorn. I did have popcorn the other day, which I didn't notice if I felt any type of way by having it, but I also know that you may not feel any type of way right away. You're supposed to do the 4 to 6 to 8 weeks of removing all of it and then slowly introducing it. But I would love to know if anyone else has noticed like popcorn, like, and I'm not talking about microwave popcorn, I'm talking about stovetop, like coconut oil, salt, nutritional yeast, like not anything crazy. If anyone has had success with popcorn on AIP. And I know the whole thing that, you know, I've mentioned before, I'll mention it again, is this is not a forever thing. This is not a diet about vanity. This is not a diet about losing weight or things like that, because it can also, anytime you control your eating or you change your eating, it can trigger some negative things. I would say more so for women than men. And so I really do want to take that into consideration as I take care of my health, because that's what this is more of a health dietary change for allergens and things that can cause flare-ups. But I also want to make sure that I am removing the right things so that when I reintroduce them, I can actually tell what has caused a problem versus what has not caused a problem. Little jerk rub, so it's like coated most of the wings, and then I'll put them in the oven and slow bake them. So I'm gonna have to get a glass pan out, which I did not plan. I should have planned that before I put this glove on and got all jerked up. The wings are cooking and I am going to make a matcha. I did not make one earlier today. I got back from the dentist and then just got on my computer and worked. But I got a lot done. Let's get a little treat because it's not coffee, but it is good. I just don't think I'm that good at making iced matcha at home the way that it is when you go out, or maybe it's just like the excitement of going out to get a little treat. So I whisk up my matcha. I whisk it up in my matcha bowl. I made a mess today. The whisking was not going so well. You can kind of tell. It's like all over the place. Glass ice, pour it in. And again, you don't want to use boiling water. You just want to use hot water. Boiling is not good for the matcha. I also realized there's a problem. I mean, it's not really a problem. I'm still drinking almond milk. I do not like coconut milk, but I don't drink dairy. So I guess technically almond milk is not a part of the protocol because it's nuts, which I totally understand, but I'm still drinking it. So we're gonna see how that goes. So I guess we're going 90% AIP, which I actually, you know, we're going 95%. There's like a couple things, like 2 things, spice, almond milk. I think those are the only 2 things. Either way, I think that's what I have to do for myself, for my sanity, so I don't so I'm not miserable. I don't want to be miserable when it comes to eating or my daily routines in my life. And now I get to enjoy a nice matcha. Look at those wings. Look at that healthy AIP friendly dinner. Some chicken wings and broccoli with light seasoning. And now it is dinner time. Very healthy, productive day of eating. I don't feel overly hungry. I think that was the biggest thing I noticed the first few days is I was starving because I was not eating enough protein and probably not enough starch or carbs with the sweet potatoes. So I feel as if a dinner like this is actually pretty healthy. I mean, it is healthy, but it also is enough to fill me up. And I did buy plantain chips as sort of like my snack. If I feel I need a snack in between meals, that's what I will have, which are delicious. I love plantain in general, so we might be cooking plantain in this household. Michael will probably do that because he's a better cook than me and he has made plantain before. But this is, like I said, minus the jerk seasoning. You can season it with like lemon pepper, anything else that feels obviously very on the AIP regimen of what you can and can't have, the no spices. So minus the jerk, it is AIP friendly and also just like a really light dinner. This is not one I had to adjust for Michael, so he also enjoys broccoli and chicken wings, which means we both get to enjoy dinner. And I did my nails. I just finished these in time for dinner. I can't wait to show you more. I will update on recipes, other things that I'm doing that are AIP friendly, and other things that I'm doing for my body. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!